Thank you for having me.
Tinubu says that Labour Party is officially in opposition and they're going to hold the government accountable from now on.
Well, I think it's a welcome idea, and it's a testament to the fact that our democracy is maturing. Because in any developed democracy, you must have a viable opposition, and I think it's a welcome idea. And I want Peter Obi to please call out his deputy to stop the day-to-day aspect. He keeps going around and casting aspersion against the government of the day by going to direct attacks, calling him a forger, calling him a drug lord. I think that is unbecoming, and that is undemocratic, and that is not befitting of a viable opposition. So I think a viable opposition is a welcome idea. In Lagos State, I think we have viable oppositions. In Fusion Daoti, I think Lagos State is paving the way for good governance in Nigeria, and I think this is what we should extrapolate even to the national affairs of our country. Because of course in the past governorship election we saw how Sanwo-Olu won with just close margins, and we could see how Funsho Duarte has been tackling Sanwo-Olu's policies. As a matter of fact, it got to a point the State of Assembly needed to invite him for his own ideas. I mean, these are what we want to see. If Peter Obi can become a viable and a formidable opposition, we might begin to see that the National Assembly will call him upon for his own ideas on how to move the country forward. Because of course, the country belongs to all of us. Be it you are in the opposition or you are in the party of the government of the day.
Okay, he was asked whether he would consider a merger with the PDP. He said that we don't know the future.
Well, we can see that both Labour Party and PDP, their reactions are similar. We can see they both said that the Supreme Court's judgment was unfavorable and was biased. They said almost the same thing. We can see that they are both asking for one-term presidency. Atiku demanded for 6 years, Obi demanded for 5 years. So we can see that their thinking is shifting to align. So I don't think it will be out of place to say that probably in the near future they might come together as one. Yeah.
Let's also talk about you see the Labour Party as a viable opposition in the future.
Well, first and foremost, I need to see the coercive measures, the internal coercive measures the principle of Labour Party holds, which is Peter Obi. As of today, Peter Obi is the poster boy of Labour Party, and he must be able to hold his senators within that ideology of a party. What we saw yesterday was unconvincing.
With reference to the 160 million.
Yes, yeah. Because we saw he was defending them. We were the person who said we were going to cost of governance. However, he was justifying it, saying that the car was for official use. So is he saying that the APC will use the car for personal use? You cannot try to be a viable opposition with your double standardness. If you are going this way, you go this way. Ordinarily, we would have expected Peter Obi to call his senators out and probably give them some days to reject the car. But of course, what we saw was he was advocating for them to accept the car. So, well, I'm afraid for a Labour Party to be a formidable opposition, their principle must be convincingly steadfast with its conviction. But this is what we want, and this must cut across all our party members.
Okay, let's look at the dollar and our economy. Naira is gaining massively against the dollar.
Fortunately and unfortunately for the speculators, I read over the news. Some people are crying. They are crying wolf that they've lost a lot of money because these are economic saboteurs who expected the dollar to get to 2,000 naira by December. However, the CBN has been able to clear our backlogs. They have been able to pay some banks, and of course we can see the positive effects. Are we there yet? Absolutely not. But of course, these are positive vibes we are getting from the CBN, and I like what the CBN governor is doing, because I got a reaction from the Association of Bureau de Change. You know, they are demanding for pre-information before policies are rolled out. And I said, why should the CBN engage you before they roll out policies? You are subservient to the CBN. The CBN should not inform you. You know, they shouldn't, because if they do, they are only what? They are, you know, they are employing with necessary weapons to harm them. So the CBN must always come as a surprise to everybody. If you have good intentions, you will never be affected. But when you don't have good intentions, you always come out to cry wolf. So kudos to the CBN governor, and I hope in the nearest, in the nearest months, the BDCs as a whole are digitized and systemized. Thank you.
It's official that Labour Party is in opposition.
You say what?
It is official that the Labour Party is in opposition.
It's been official since prior to election. So why
their candidate came out yesterday and said Labour Party is officially in opposition.
Officially in opposition, but are they acting as an opposition party in Hello Chamber? Are they acting? What I'm saying that are they acting the role of opposition? What I'm saying this. What I'm saying this is the issue of cars allocation. That's the Prado or Land Cruiser allocation that cost 160 million each. Why didn't this Labour Party, the opposition, go against that policy?
It's a process.
Which process? What process? So that means you want to tell me all the people, the Labour assembly in that chamber, they are newcomers, they don't know anything, they just bamboo masses that they are going to be representative of their constituency, and they got there, they don't know what to do. So that means that they don't know anything about legislative arms of government. Why is it a process? Is it a process for you to walk out from the Hello Chamber that you are not going to be part of this, the charlatan, buffet that they are giving them? Why? Is it a process?
What do you expect from every lawmaker?
You say what?
What do you expect from every lawmaker in that house on that Prado Jeep and Lexus?
What I expected of them, what I expected of them was the people in the opposition, which are the Labour and the PDP. Maybe they join hands to fight the battles in court, in Supreme Court. Why can't they join hands to fight the battle to resist that Land Cruisers, that Jeep they gave to each one of them? So just to show you that average Nigerian politician will just use a platform to get to that position. After that, getting to that position, they will now pull over the clothing, I mean the party symbols they use to get to that position, and throw it away and become a freelance man. And it happens in every other party. You can see now the Labour parties people, they deny the Labours themselves. The Labour are not happy with them. They collected the vehicle, they did not even raise up hand. There is not yet time for us to share. How many of them oppose it? How many of them raise his hands up in the Hello Chamber and say this is not time for us to start using Jeep, Prado, all sort of things? They single everything. So just to show you followers that are following them.
What of the APC lawmakers?
Let's assume the APC lawmakers. Let's assume they are the one in power and they are doing what is wrong. They did something wrong. Why the ones that are supposed to checkmate them, that now join them again? That one should always keep his mouth shut as from that time, because he has no correction to make any longer. Because it's just like you are accusing somebody is a thief, and that thief stole something and he share you part of the Rajis is stole. Will you have mouth to talk again? Will you have mouth to talk? So forget about this politician.
He said that those vehicles are official.
Can you imagine what is coming up? I'm quoting. Why can't Obi said he loved Nigeria. Obi said he loved masses.
He said if officials were to be in power,
he will have passed the bills and they will impeach him the next day.
but I can tell you for free, they will impeach you the next day. I can tell you for free that his party member will contributed to that impeachment of Obi if he did not pass that issue, so that loan now, because it's under the constitution. The money, the allocation is under the constitution. You cannot tamper with it. Executive cannot tamper with it. So what are you now saying? They have their own budgetary allocation until you
at the expense of Nigerians.
That is when you now say that is when you now realize that the constitution is not favoring an average man in this country. It only favor the rich, right? The constitution we are practicing, you cannot fault the constitution. If executive fault the constitution, the senate will sue executive, and you know what will come out of it? You know what will come out of it? It's going to be a very colossal, issues that judiciary and the legislators and the executive are fighting. There won't be any stability of good governance.
Okay. Lastly, let's look at traveling. These days, it's very, very stressful because of the roads. The roads are bad.
How do you mean? I don't understand.
To the east, to the south,
security or what?
The roads are bad. But it's very difficult to travel.
I just came back from a trip. No, I just came back yesterday night.
When we walk that Edo road.
I'm not, you know how those roads are bad. You need to hold your leaders accountable. You can't just be blaming federal every time. It's a federal road now. It's a federal road, but you have a federal representative. Abi, don't you have that from your own constituency in Abia? You have that.
So my constituency is in Lagos. You know.
My brother. Don't let us say Lagos. Lagos is overpopulated. We all came from somewhere before we declared ourselves Lagosian. But I'm saying that your constituency is Lagos. When last did you even go to your constituency and ask for who is representing me there? You sit down there, you start complaining without doing the meeting. You see, government is about inclusiveness, inclusivity, right? That you have to be involved. You have to ask questions. You don't just sit down somewhere. You know your right. You do not ask for your right, and you start crying wolf. Say you cry foul. Say this thing. You didn't do that. You didn't. How would they do it? Because your voice is not heard. Your voice is not loud. You do not complain. You have you have a duty every day to go, or every month, or every week to go to your local government. You start from the local government. Can I see the chairman? If I don't see the chairman, can I see the secretary? I'm a resident of your local government and I voted for you, and we put it there. We want to know, why has development not reached our area? Why has the development not reached our area? You have a right to ask this question.
Okay.
That's why I say Nigerian youth are docile, and docility cannot bring any
lazy Nigerian youths. That is according to Buhari.
It may be right, it may be right. It's not until you lazy, it's not until you say you working that makes you a productive person.